Welcome back to Edge Work, presented by FanDuel as part of the Hammer Betting Network. I'm Alex Moretto, joined here today by So Money Sports to break down a big card on the ice. 10 games to get to tonight as we look to build off a very nice day yesterday where 3-0 record on our best bets. Flyers win a wild back and forth game at MSG, and the Ducks also win a wild comeback there, pretty much ending Calgary's playoff hopes. And a tough loss for Calgary. Nice bounce for our best bets, but hey, we'll take it. What did you make of last night? Any takeaways? Get to watch any of those games?
Yeah, I was saying last night that I will be glued to the Tampa Bay Toronto game. Mm-hmm. I watched all of it. I also said there were certain things that I'm looking for in terms of future opportunities, and I think that I saw what I needed to see, mostly from the Leafs side. The way that they came out in that game really showed me a lot. That was a tough situation. They're not worried about Tampa Bay. They're not going to back down. And just I know you don't like to hear it, but I think that moving forward, I will be looking for opportunities to be betting on the Leafs in the next few weeks. Or they really they showed me what I was looking for yesterday. Even though I lost my bet, I learned a lot about them and future opportunities for them.
No, I agree. The way they responded in that first period, the first few minutes, was really impressive. What I will say though is I think there's a lot made of like them not responding or their character and all that stuff. I don't think responding has ever been their issue. They've always been able to respond, like even throughout like their worst playoff losses and all that sort of stuff. They've always been good at like bouncing back in like different series, and like those Tampa series, they always like would follow up those miserable games with really good performances and really good efforts. Yeah. It's like being able to build off those and maintain those consistently that's always been kind of their issue. I think that's kind of what gets lost in the weeds a little bit with them. But yeah, nonetheless, definitely a good response. I thought Tampa responded really well too to falling behind 2-0, and they took that game over for a long time. Stolarz was fantastic. Obviously, Tampa hits like 4 posts in like 4 minutes, which was crazy too. But a really, really fun game to watch. Obviously Gensel not playing was significant as well. That changes the complexion of things for them up front. It does seem though like the division futures are kind of out of reach. That's why I know we talked about it yesterday. Hedging is regardless, this and that. I did have Leafs, and I added some more Leafs after the Gensel news and stuff. So I think that was I'm glad I did, because I do think Tampa Atlanta futures are pretty much done now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean you got to move on, and it's not about winning or losing. It's about winning or learning. Did you learn from the loss? And there was a lot that I learned from watching these two teams playing last night.
Yeah. Okay. We have a lot of games to get to here. I do want to get into them and stuff like that before things move. I do have a little bit of a harder out today as well too. So we will get into those in 1 second as I open up my FanDuel screen.
Let's yeah. Oh, sorry, you're doing your.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I just wanted to start with the Rangers Isles game. I do have a play. Yeah, I do have a play there. I bet the Islanders.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, we talked about the Rangers. The reason I want to start on that game is I think it's going to start running now, and there you go. It already has.
Bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I bet the Islanders. I actually like them up to -130. Yeah, they're out, they're done, but they're still playing, and we saw that in the Preds game as well. Whereas the Rangers, we talked about yesterday, and it came to fruition last night as well. This team just doesn't care, right? If they get into a pond hockey situation like they did yesterday, of course, like their players are going to try to score, right? But in terms of defensive structure or playing winning hockey, they're just not into it. So so I think that it's another opportunity to fade the Rangers here.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Isles quit on each other at any point this year. That's the one thing that they've kind of maintained consistently through all the injuries, adversities, and everything they've gone through. They have consistently brought that effort. Obviously, you can't really say the same about the Rangers by any means. Last 3 weeks, Isles top 10 in expected goal share at nearly 54%. The Rangers are 25th. 46%. They just haven't been playing good hockey. They've quit on each other. Their season now is over pretty much after last night. They barely have any interest in playing games as is. I can't imagine they're going to have much on a back-to-back here with their season effectively being ended last night. Or maybe they'll be so happy that they're pretty much out of the playoffs that we will have a better effort now. So who knows? But yeah, I agree. I am on the Isles here as well. We will lock that in as our first best bet of the night. Before we get into the rest of the games, playoffs are around the corner, puckheads, and FanDuel is bringing you the best bets on the ice. Get in the lab when you make your same-game parlay by checking out FanDuel's player performance pages that track stats and averages all your favorite players. Once you know who's cooking, add shots on goal, points, assists, or even goalie saves to your SGP. Miss puck drop, you can still tap in with live same-game parlay and period-specific player props. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet, and you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download FanDuel Sportsbook and make every moment more. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC, or 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit nbgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-50 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, so we'll go to the top of the board again here, where the Wings are taking on the Panthers tonight. Perhaps a little anytime goal scorer for us with the Panthers, as Samaskevich has been promoted to the first line temporarily. It sounds like Verhaeghe is going to get a rest tonight, maybe a much-needed rest because he has not been playing very well for the Panthers. Panthers minus 194 at home to the Wings, plus 160 for Detroit, a total of 5.5, pretty much minus 110 here to each side. So money, how do we not keep betting Florida unders? Can you tell me? Can you talk me off of this or what?
The only thing I'll say is that I don't disagree, but with Detroit kind of out of it, I think that they'll be opening it up, and I think Florida knows that. Florida knows that they just have to win this game, right? So whether they want to or not,
do they even have to? I don't even know.
Yeah, right. So
this game.
And usually in situations like this, and Rob touched on it yesterday, is that the first thing to go is the defense, right? And I mean, what is this game worth to either team right now, right? So there's a case you can make that Florida just wants to get in and out, just make sure nobody gets hurt, and just play the game and get out. And Detroit, they're pretty much they are out of the playoffs now. So it's tough for me to get on the under here. But I also cannot make a case for the over either. This is one of those games where I don't know what to expect from either team at this point. So I'll be sitting this one out.
I completely understand where you're coming from, and I do agree where there is potential for Detroit to just fuck it and just play chaotic brand of hockey. But Florida is just so suffocating in their style that I don't think that they're going to allow Detroit to assert themselves in any sort of way offensively anyways. And we know Florida struggles scoring right now. They're very, very pronounced at this point. Guys in and out of the lineup, guys resting. They don't necessarily have that same chemistry going up front. I just do not see goals in this one. I'm going to keep betting these under 5.5s until they are more heavily juiced towards the unders. I bet this one again, and I'm, pretty much where it is now. So I'm comfortable giving it out here and betting it on show. So we will do that under 5.5. There's minus 105s available, pretty widely available, which we can go ahead and lock in for myself here. Nothing for you on this one. Maybe there is something for you on this next game where the Bruins are laying a hefty minus 182. Did not think we would see that a couple weeks ago based on the Bruins, how they've been playing. Now minus 182 after a couple wins. I don't know. Hawks plus 150, total of 5.5. Heavily juiced to the over. This is more of a 6 right now. Are you getting involved again with the Blackhawks? I know we did the other night against the Penguins and it didn't go so well, but they played better in that game than 5-0. Then they had the closed door meeting, all that. They had a big team meeting after the game. Interesting to see what kind of response we'll get from Chicago here.
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, obviously the price is inflated. We talked about it when Boston played New Jersey. The concern was that Boston's goals usually come in bunches. They scored 7 goals, although I don't think they played very well in that game. There was a lot of weak goaltending that kind of helped them out a bit in reaching those 7 goals. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this game reluctantly. I do like the number on Chicago, but I mean they're just so bad. And I thought that there was an opportunity against Pittsburgh, but yeah, I don't. I'll sit this one out as well.
I am also going to sit this one out. I lean towards the Blackhawks and I lean towards the over, but I'm a bit of a coward and I don't want to pull the trigger on Chicago right now. I mean, like we said, the Bruins are really not playing all that well. They've been aided by bad goaltending. I just can't get behind them laying this number. I do think we'll learn a little bit about Chicago right now. They had that long team meeting after the Pittsburgh game. There's more motivation, at least for them here, to produce a response than there is for a lot of these basement teams at this point in the season. But like they are also just really bad. That's the other issue. So not enough for me to get involved, but
kind of a big issue
that way. Yeah, kind of a big issue, especially at this point of the season where you know what teams are. There's plus 160 floating around though still. Like that would be it's a lean. No, we're not gonna give it out. If you wanna get involved for the little fun one, Jordan says don't do it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it, Jordan, but like I'm so tempted. The Bruins should not be laying this sort of number right now. We will pass on this one nonetheless, though. We will go to the Sabres and the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets minus 146, Buffalo plus 122, total of 6.5, minus 115 to the over, minus 104 to the under. Jackets have not really taken the sort of money I would have expected them to maybe take this morning. Been somewhat dormant. I think the market's somewhat believing in this Sabres team right now based on their recent results, even though they are shooting about 75%, it seems like. And that continued the other night against Carolina when they scored 3 goals and 18 shots. I can't imagine they're going to stop scoring at this point. They're going to just shoot the lights out for the last 4 games of the season. Are you going to step in front of this team at all here?
Step in front of Columbus?
Yeah, no, step in front of Buffalo.
Step in front of Buffalo.
Fade the
I'm
Sabres
not going to.
their recent string of results. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to step in front of them. In fact, I'll be betting Buffalo right now. They've come into range. Columbus took some money, and I mean Jordan's right. Classic Sabres, right? Like when they're out of it, they just turned it up here. So
that's why we locked in that Sabres point total over for at the Four Nations break. This is like the tale as old as time, right?
Yeah, totally, right. So I am betting the Sabres. I'd like them down to plus 115. It's unfortunate. Columbus was a nice story for us. It was a good run. We got a good price. We got a good run out of the price as well, but it just wasn't enough in the end. So I will. And the other thing with Columbus too is that they played their ceiling game against Ottawa. That was an inspired game. I don't know if we see that again, especially the way that the previous games had gone for them. It's really tough for a team like that at this point in the season to get back to a ceiling game, which is what they would need to be at with the way that the Sabres are playing. A little surprised that Columbus took money, but kind of makes sense if you still believe that that they're going to be playing hard here the rest of the way. So I did play Buffalo, like the number, and yeah, that's where we're at right now with that game.
I honestly thought Columbus was going to take a little bit more money than they did. It's kind of come back a little bit, but yeah, I don't. I'm not getting in front of Buffalo right now. I'm not willing to back the Sabres either, though, just based on what I'm seeing. The results just don't match the eye test. They're not playing great hockey. They're just scoring at an insane rate. But like, I'm not going to bet on that to stop against the Columbus team that also bleeds goals and chances. So there's not the type of spot where I want to get in front of Buffalo here. So we will go ahead and track the Sabres. I will sit this one out myself. And we will move on to, we did the Rangers-Islanders game already, so we'll move on to the Hurricanes and the Caps. Canes minus 150 now. The flood of Carolina money that comes in every single game has come in once again and is now making me do something that I didn't want to do, or potentially I have to maybe bet on the Washington Capitals here at home, with neither team having anything to play for at this point. The Hurricanes and Hurricanes and Devils locked into that playoff matchup in the 2-3. Washington locked into top spot in the East pretty much here. This is basically just two teams that maybe hate each other based on like the game we saw the other day. Maybe should be fun, but like I can't imagine either team shows all that much. Maybe they kind of leave it for a potential second round playoff series here. Nonetheless, it's not scaring the market off of Carolina here. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I'm not betting either side of this game, but I did bet the under here. Again, both teams don't have much to play for, so you worry about how they are defensively. But these are two playoff teams, and judging based on what's been coming out of both camps here, I think that both of them want to get ready for the playoffs. And in order to get ready for the playoffs, they both know they need to work on their defensive game. So I think that we're going to see probably a game that's played closer to the vest here. I don't think either team is going to be particularly interested in getting into a back and forth affair here. So, and the six even at a juice numbers. Yeah. So I do like the under up to minus 120. I don't necessarily think we're going to get a playoff type game here, but I think what we're going to get is two teams that just want to get through it at this point.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. That's definitely the way I would lean. My one concern is that, like you said, both teams, getting to the playoffs want to work on their defensive game. I feel like Carolina might want to work on their scoring. They cannot score goals again. This is the same problem they have every single year as we get into playoff time. They cannot score goals. I don't know that they want to go into the season like just this short on confidence up front once again. So I mean, Washington's not exactly a team where you're gonna, shoot the lights out on. We do have the lingering confirmation. At 6, though, I could only look at the under. But this is another game I'm probably just going to sit out. If this Carolina number keeps running, though, I might just get involved on Washington just because I don't see how in this spot with really nothing to play for either of these teams, I would expect a much more vanilla game from both of them. I just don't see how you can have this big of a number for the Canes. I think this is also a point in time where you have to start looking for guys to potentially sit. Who's going to rest? Are there going to be some last minute, lineup changes? This is the type of time where with teams like this that are kind of locked into where they are, you have to kind of be mindful of that sort of stuff. Although it is harder, you do get a lot fewer of those surprises now with the way the cap is and the roster restrictions and all that sort of stuff. So we will go ahead and track the under 6 in that Carolina-Washington game, and we will move on to I guess the game of the night, although it seems to maybe have lost a little bit of its luster with the way Dallas has been playing lately. Stars coming off that historic late collapse against the Canucks are minus 126 at home to the Jets here, a total of 5.5, minus 110 to each side. Do you think the Stars are going to turn it around and make this Central Division race a little bit interesting down the stretch, or are you leaving them for dead?
I'm not leaving them for dead, but realistically, the way that they're playing right now, I think they've got a lot more things to work on and a lot more issues than worrying about the division right now. I think that that they need to start focusing on their matchup against Colorado, and there's a lot of deficiencies there that Colorado can take advantage of. I did play the Jets. I have them down to plus 108, and it's just I think that the way that Dallas is playing right now is not. They're just not playing well. They're giving up chances, and Winnipeg, they've been at this level pretty much the whole season. Again, there are issues I see, but I don't think they're going to manifest themselves at this point in the season. I think that matchup dependent is more. Where I'll be interested in betting against Winnipeg in the playoffs, but not in this situation. Not when they have a chance to win the division and what they've been working towards all season against the Dallas team that's been declining pretty rapidly here. So I'm on. Yeah, so I did play the Jets here.
Okay, yeah, I would agree. Another game where I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit trigger shy here late in the season where there's, a lot of kind of unknowns and a bit more uncertainty. I would like to think I'm more just interested, like the reason I don't want to get involved here is because I don't think it's like a great number. And I'd rather just sit back and kind of watch this game and see what to expect from both these teams and like look ahead towards like starting to get prepped for the playoffs. Does Dallas respond to that, colossal blown lead late against the Canucks? I kind of want to see what we get from them, see what kind of characters in that room, because I do think that's a pretty high character team, but like we've seen them really, really struggle down the stretch here. I think I do want to definitely fade them. I think the time to do that, though, is going to come in like a week from now, as opposed to me just jumping in right now. But I do agree that the Jets, it would be Jets or nothing for me. Since the Four Nations break, Stars are 27th in the NHL expected goal share at 5-on-5. That is a long sample now. That's not just, we're not just talking a couple weeks. We're talking close to 2 months where they have not been playing good hockey. So I will likely be fading this team, obviously price dependent. But yeah, I just cannot see too many redeeming qualities with how they've been playing lately. So we will go ahead and track the Jets. I also lean over here. Like I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to bet an over with Hellebuck and Ottinger. I just can't. Like I can't do that because the one thing that the Stars defensively have been really bad, but the one thing that's been keeping them in it is the fact that Ottinger has just been so lights out. So I'm not going to get involved in it over here, but I just don't see how Stars games still at this point can be lined at 5.5 because they can generate offense against anyone. The Jets are generating a ton, and they should be able to generate a ton against the Stars defense that's been really leaky. It's just the goaltending matchup. I have too much respect for both of these guys to get in on an over here. So I will sit out the game completely. We will move on to the Preds and the Utah Hockey Club. Utah minus 200, Nashville plus 164, total of 6.5, plus 110 to the over, minus 134 to the under. Do you have anything for us in this game?
Look at that number on Utah.
I know.
Yeah, I got nothing here. Utah's they've been taking care of business. I don't. And Nashville, we got a nice win on Nashville the other night. It was a home game. I think going on the road here in Utah is going to be a different situation here. So I won't have anything in this game here.
I like the under in this game, and that's what I bet in this one. Under 6. My screen is just temporarily frozen. My whole computer is borderline frozen right now. At least my stream is working. So I cannot see all the widely available prices, but I like this. I mean, I know that minus 110s were widely available shortly ago, and I can't imagine that's moved. So if we have to go up to minus 110, that's completely fine by me at the 6. Utah's just giving up very, very little. I know Bijmelk has played a ton, but it just seems like he's played through the point where he's played this much, and he's just almost in his zone now. Preds are obviously pretty lifeless offensively. I know what they did the other night, but on the road, it's been a different story as well. And that was definitely the outlier the other night. I think if this game is going to go over, Utah's going to have to do most of the damage by themselves, like they did the other night against the Kraken, to be fair. But I don't think the Preds are at that stage defensively where they're like that bad for that to be too legitimate of a concern. So I do think this will be a lower scoring game. I can't imagine Nashville contributes too much to this total. I think this should have been heavily juiced at the 6 towards the under. So I did get involved myself here with an under. And I did skip a game where I just glossed past. I'm sorry, I glossed past your Canucks, which apparently, according to FanDuel, starts at 9:09 Eastern time, and the Utah game starts at 9:10. So the Avs and the Canucks, we will get to that one next here. Your Vancouver Canucks, plus 180 in Colorado, Avs minus 220, total of 5.5, minus 115 to the over. What kind of effort do we get from your Canucks here tonight, who seem to be battling hard for Tocchet down the stretch, regardless of their dissipated playoff aspirations?
Yeah, this price right now is based on the thinking in the market that the Canucks are just going to mail it in after being eliminated last night. I don't think that's the case. I think that they're going to play hard. They're playing for Tocchet. This is an inflated number. I was waiting to see how far it goes, but I think that we're probably at the top now. You can get plus 200s in the market right now. I've got them. I make them around plus 165, right? And especially considering that Colorado's locked in. They're not.
Colorado also has nothing to play for.
Yeah, they're pretty much working on the game right now. One thing I will say about Colorado though is that they stepped it up against Vegas in a game that they wanted to win, right? And that was against another playoff team. That was against a team that they know that. I think that there's a good possibility that they're going to be in a series with in a couple of weeks here. So I think that this is not really a game that I can see Colorado having a ceiling effort, and I do see a ceiling effort from the Canucks. I think that they're not going to pack it in, and they're going to keep going for Tocchet here. So um, I played the Canucks. You can probably wait a little bit longer if you want, but for the purpose of the show, I'm going to lock it in right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. I am with you on this one as well. And just to add to that point on Colorado, I don't think any of us doubted what Colorado can do at their peak or when they want to win, right?
Yeah.
The fading them down the stretch was more just like they're playing these games when they're locked into the third seed against teams that are out of it, against teams they don't care to exert energy against, like the Calgarys and stuff of the world. That's what I'm down to fade them. Probably a little bit of a mistake, not realizing that they would want to step it up for a Vegas game and make a bit of a statement. Maybe their last sort of like true tune-up game for them. And that's what that was. I'd expect them to really scale it back after that game where we saw their A effort. I would definitely think we're going to see maybe their B or C effort here. And it's being priced in that the Canucks are just going to quit on the season after being eliminated, which is definitely not what's going to happen. Being mathematically eliminated is not any different to where they were a week ago, honestly, because they were basically eliminated. I don't think that changes all that much here. So way too big a number. I'm with you on the Canucks tonight. I'm glad we didn't completely gloss over that game. We'll move on to the Vegas Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken. Knights minus 245, Seattle plus 198, total of 5.5, minus 120 to the over, minus 102 to the under. Vegas not locked into top spot in the Pacific, but like very, very close at this point here after LA's lost the other night. I think this is another situation where not exactly a ton for Vegas to sort of play for here. Do you have anything for us in this one?
No interest here. Don't know what I'm going to get from Seattle. Vegas, I would expect a good enough effort to just go in and get the win. They're playing at home. They'll have enough to get the win here, but not at those prices though. So I got nothing in this game.
Yeah, I got nothing myself as well. This is a Seattle team that is just so erratic as well. Not a team I really have much interest betting on or against. I think the total's kind of fine where it is as well. And speaking of games I don't have a ton of interest in betting, we have the Ducks and the Kings to round out tonight's slate. The Kings minus 350 at home to Anaheim. Anaheim plus 275, a total of 5.5, minus 120 to the over, minus 102 to the under. Do you have anything in this final game?
No, nothing here again. I think that the total is kind of where it needs to be. I was hoping it would be a little bit higher, but a juiced 5.5. It's probably where we need to be. So yeah, nothing here for this game either.
Okay. So that will do it for the games. Let me pull up our best bets here. We have my computer today is fighting through something. I don't know what it's fighting through, but it is driving me absolutely insane this morning. All right, we have several best bets still for tonight on this 10-game slate. We have the Sabres plus 123, the Wings and the Panthers under 5.5, minus 105, the Islanders minus 120, the Hurricanes and the Caps under 6, minus 113, Jets plus 111, Canucks plus 195, Preds, Utah under 6, minus 106. That is 7 best bets for tonight from a 10-game slate as we look to keep it up after a strong day yesterday. I did build a no-goal parlay. Yesterday's no-goal parlay did not hit. It was Vincent Trocheck that scored a shorthanded goal. Everyone scored in that game, to be fair, which cost us that no-goal parlay. I do have another one for tonight that I built quite late, so I don't think it's together just yet. So we'll hold off on that. Let's get the goal, the anytime goal suggestions in here first from the chat, and we can build out this parlay, and then we will give out the no goal parlay. So, So Money, before I start, did you have anyone you wanted to? I'm going to be borderline useless in this because my computer is fighting it right now.
Yeah, so let's. I did have DeBrus to score again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the only one that stood out for me. We can go through the chat and kind of let's see who we got here.
DeBrusk is plus 300 on FanDuel. Okay, so my FanDuel's working at least. That's the one good thing. So we'll start with DeBrusk. Sam Miskevich, who has been promoted to the first line. I think that's a no-brainer to add in here. Yeah, plus 350, says Jordan. Let me confirm the price here. I will be a little bit slower confirming the prices at this point. 280 on FanDuel. I mean, I don't know if that's recently been bet down or adjusted or what. Still want to throw him in?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Also, we saw Tage Thompson there.
Mm-hmm.
What's his number there?
See Tage. Where? Okay, we got Tage right here. Tage Thompson is plus 140.
Oh, it's a little tough there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
What about Alex Tuck, who's shooting about I think Alex Tuck is shooting 90% lately. Crazy. From Ron here, he says plus 40 is a fair price, but the 11-1 first goal for Tage is a very juicy stab. All right, so something to look out for if you want to throw a little something on that first goal. We got a Geeky plus 195.
Yeah, I would like somebody in the Buffalo game there too.
You would, yeah. Chances are it's going to be a pretty high event game. What about Kulich? Kulich 340.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Kulich centering that. He's on that first line, and he is on the second power play unit, not the first power play unit. But I'm down for. Let's throw Kulich in there.
Yeah.
Kulich 340. Jordan says the obligatory Anders Lee recommendation. Honestly, we only have so many chances left to fire on Anders Lee, and they are playing the Rangers tonight. I feel like this is the time to go on Anders Lee. We did not go with him the other night. He did score plus 175, though. Plus 175. Maybe not. Is there another game here where we want to get someone? Should we get someone from Utah in here? Yeah, I agree. Plus 75. We can't do that. Barrett Hayton or Nick
Schmaltz, I think.
Okay. Let's go with Hayton. Hayton 230. Barrett Hayton will round out our anytime goal parlay. That is Jake DeBrusk, Mackie Samoskevich, Yuri Kulich, and Barrett Hayton. That is 220, basically 220 to 1, plus 21970. That is tonight's any goal parlay. That's Jake DeBrusk, Mackie Samoskevich, Yuri Kulich, and Barrett Hayton. Our no goal parlay, which was thrown together late, so I apologize for that. But we do have it. It is Mika Zibanejad, Steven Stamkos, and Pierre-Luc Dubois. Any disagreement with any of those ones? That is minus 114. Mika Zibanejad, Steven Stamkos, and Pierre-Luc Dubois is today's no goal parlay. So hopefully we can get back to the winning ways with that one. I will recap our best bet. Oh, here's the anytime goal parlay as well. Plus 220 to 1. Jake DeBrusk, Mackie Samoskevich, Yuri Kulich, and Barrett Hayton. I'll recap the best bets one more time. We have the Sabres plus 123, the Wings and Panthers under 5.5 minus 105, Isles minus 120, Canes, Caps under 6 minus 113, Jets plus 111, Canucks plus 195, Preds, Utah under 6 minus 106. That will do it for us tonight. Hopefully we can get losses for Columbus and the Rangers and the Red Wings. All three of those teams. And it's nice. I don't have to cheer against any of our best bets in doing that. I can just hope for positive news for the Habs without having to root against us. So that's fantastic. We will be back. So Money and myself again, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Hopefully my computer is not acting up still by then. Appreciate everyone for tuning in today. Make sure to like the stream and all that stuff before you leave. It takes literally 1 second. So we would appreciate that. Just smash that like button before you head out. So we can keep doing this every day, like tomorrow, where we will be back at 10:30 a.m. Appreciate everyone for tuning in today. Enjoy the games tonight, and good luck with your bets.